so coming out of high school, I went to film school, but ended up dropping out. And, at 18 years old, it's kind of hard to like really know like what you want to do. And even if you really want to do it, it's hard to have the dedication at 18, especially if it's the first time leaving your home, right? So I certainly took part in the college experience, and it led to me dropping out of that school, and I tried another one and ended up working in restaurants. So if Dan's back of the house, I was front of the house, right? So I was waiting tables, and we were talking like my first job ever, my very, very first job ever was working at Blockbuster Video. But my second job ever was working at the restaurant inside Shea Stadium as a busboy. And that was in, 99. And I worked in restaurants until I decided to move to Atlanta to become a chiropractor in 2010. So we're talking like 11 years of waiting tables and bartending and that type of stuff. But on the side, I could say that what I really wanted to do coming out of high school was make a lot of money. Like I was obsessed with like flipping baseball cards and like comic books that were worth money. And like, I was just very much, and again, this comes from my grandfather, this idea of like this thing can become that amount and you can turn that into a business somehow, or somehow turn that into what you do. So that really like stuck with me. And I lived in New York City. We ended up doing like parties with bands and selling liquor and stuff like that, and like experiences. And that was something for a while I was like, oh, maybe I could be a party promoter, or, one of the guys that stands at the front door of the club or whatever. All of that stuff was fine, but it never like filled sort of the whole of, that internal thing of like the fulfillment. And working in restaurants long enough, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. And my uncle's a chiropractor in New York City, and I was working at this vegan restaurant. I'm not a vegan anymore, but at the time I was. Yeah. And I was working at this vegan restaurant. I was there for a long time, and his office was like a block away. So I would get adjusted. It was the first time, even though he was a chiropractor the whole time I had been alive, basically, I never really had gotten adjusted. But being on my feet all day and like, service industry, right? You put your body through it. I also wasn't that healthy, even though I was a vegan, and really like realized how much I loved getting adjusted, and also how much it's a hands-on profession, right? Being an artist or a musician, it was something was always using my hands. So it sort of was on a whim, and there's a backstory. My dad passed away. He had a heart attack. He was very unhealthy. There was like a lot of like health-related trauma in my family, and I myself was also, out partying all the time, and decided to give all that up, and basically was like, I'm taking a leap of faith into chiropractic, and I've basically went to school like 6 months later, moved here, met my wife, got married, opened a practice, and haven't looked back since.